Welcome everybody, and once again, thank you, Viva, you absolute legend. It is China once again. It is going to be China again, and I know some drivers out there would not be loving this. Like Viva said, we did get China the last time we did the mystery in the Intertier, and some drivers did not enjoy that race. Here we go again. It's China again. It looks like that's just the cause of the mystery. We'll see if other mystery races this season gets China once again. But thank you, Viva, absolute legend with the wheel. And we'll see what will happen here today. My prediction for the last two races for our race winners were correct. I did say Bird to win the first one and Pesci to win the last one. But now, who is going to be your winner? Can Deck, who did win at China in the Inter-Tier, show that he does have the pace to do it again in Tier 1 this time around with better, tougher, more competition than in the Inter-Tier? Declan will definitely be looking for his first win in Tier 1 this season. Surely will be going for a fight. After winning in the Inter-Tier twice in a row at China and at Brazil, the Kick Sauber man will be coming into this race with his head raised up high, his shoulders high, and thinking that he can grab the win here. But we should be going anytime soon now. 19 drivers on track, only one not to show up. The only team, I believe that's, let's see the only team that doesn't have an extra driver, I think it's the Ferraris. It's only Colin here today. They have Young Light as one of their drivers, but again, he hasn't showed up. That is why he was one of the drivers that was ignored in the draft. But like he said, he will be back halfway through March, and we're almost halfway through March. We expect Blight back next week or the week after. That's EMT just joining the session. That's going to be 20 drivers. Why is EMT here? Isn't he a tier 2 driver? Excuse me? If you're not racing for a team, your team here, you can't be here. Is he a Ferrari driver? I think he is, isn't he? Come on, pick your car. Let me check to make sure. I think he is a Ferrari driver. I know that he races with Hazer in the Inter tier and the 100% tier. Everyone in chat not happy. Everyone is saying Spain were cooked. Nah, Monaco over this. Bahrain, no one wants this. No one wants this. That just shows that it's going to be a very, very exciting race with a lot of angry drivers on track. And we'll see how this is going to go. This is actually an interesting one to watch. I'm actually excited to watch China. I know a driver who is absolutely dejected getting China, and he's one of my drivers in Mercedes, but we'll see how he performs today. We should be going now, but EMT, I guess he's the Ferrari driver that is reserving for them today. Let's check to make sure. First, I need to do my attendance for tomorrow. I'll forget that. Then, let's go. Tier 1 attendance. Okay, yeah, EMT is a Ferrari driver. Pick your car, buddy. They'll eventually put him in the Ferrari, but you don't want to pick your car? Are you shy? Anyways, in 5 seconds we will begin quali. We'll see which of these drivers can start at the top. We do expect the top 3 of the season so far, which are Deck, Pesci, and Bird, to finish on the top 3 again. But who will be a surprise? As Iceman Ice Cold says, we hate China. I heard that you are not racing today. Let me see. Are you on track? Iceman is not on track. He just said he hates China. So lucky you. You're not going to race today. Is he on track? I might just get it wrong. Yeah, Woody is the one that's going to be racing for Haas today. As you can see, Woody 0477. I'm Basil. What? Why are you ice cold? Martial. Ice cold Martial. Okay, that's Basil. I'll remember that now. Oh, can I change your name? I don't know how to change your name, but my FIFA account I see. I don't know how to change your name, but I would like to change your name on our Discord. But yeah, that's Basil. Basil is on track with his teammate EMT69 from Tier 2. We have a few reservists from Tier 2 today, and one to watch is UFRL Parkour, who had a very strong race at Vegas last week, where she considerably was as fast as Mr. P. And to me, if you're as quick as Mr. P on any track, you should be up here in Tier 1. Because he is one of the senseis of this tier. He's one of the drivers that will be here has been here for a very long time and will be here for a very long time to come. But who will be the first driver to go out there in quali? No one wants to be the first to fill out the track. Everyone hates China. So if you're Chinese, we don't mean like we hate China, like China the country. We just hate the track. By the way, so don't take my words for hate, please. As the bird current championship leader right now is gonna come out. I believe he's leading the championship by should be a point because of the fastest laps that he got. I might be wrong. Let's just check this. Yeah, Taiwan standing. Yeah, he's leading by 2 points from Pesci. And so yeah, he got Pesci. Both him and Pesci got a 1 and a 2 the last 2 races. But I believe Bird got the fastest lap twice. That's why he is 2 points ahead of Pesci. Pesci though, who is driving for the outfit, who are absolutely dominating the current constructors championship. As it looks like, we do expect the Williams drivers to come home with the constructors at the end of the season, but we know Visa RB will definitely not make it easy. Also, the other Red Bull team, headed by Mrs. P, are going to give up, put in a big fight. But we all know what the situation with Parkour. We see it should be permanently moved up to Tier 1. And that's when Red Bull will start to struggle and panic, because they will have to get one of their Tier 3 drivers to race in Tier 2. And you know how that usually looks like. It's very difficult for a Tier 3 driver who will be reserving in Tier 2 to get the positions that Parkour will be getting in Tier 2. But it's what we do to make it equal racing and make no team unfair. Because if we leave her down in Tier 2, she's actually just going to destroy the grid. Only driver to do a 2-stop at Bahrain and was just a lap or 2 away from a win. That just shows you the sheer pace that Parkour has. But I just feel like she's just not confident in herself. She's just not confident in herself to, fight. So someone just joined the chat. Fernandez really. Oh my god. Some of you are trolls, man. Whoever that is, I'll find you. Whoever that is, I'll find you. I just saw that. I saw Fernandez really. I was like, what? I was like, what? As Black Panther will retire. And I believe there's 3 drivers serving their engine penalties today. Black Panther is one of them. Oof! But what's a try to serve an engine penalty though? Absolutely horrible. Like when you decide to serve your engine penalty on a mystery track, that's the risk you take. That is the risk you take. But Bird now is out there on his lap and we'll see exactly what he gets after he throwing the car into that left-hander. It's exactly what you want to do there and making sure you do not lose the back end. But here we go now. This is going to be a long right-hander. This is where you need that grip, that traction coming out of this corner, because going down the straight, he loses a little bit of the back end, but he can keep going as Fernandez really has joined. Again, whoever that is, I'll find you. That is a PC guy. So whoever is on PC, I'm watching you. I'm watching, especially guys who are not racing. I'm watching you. As the Bird is going to finish his first lap now. Championship leader, the man who will be looking to grab the championship this time around in Tier 1 as Mano and Matthias this season. Oh, as he almost goes off there, he can complete his lap. Surely not a good lap from Bird, 134.5. A few mistakes here and there, and we'll see what he will do when he goes for another run. The Aston Martin behind him looks like he is on his lap to Coffee, the leader of the Aston Martin team in Tier 1, and their team principal will cross the line and he'll go faster than the Bird. Like I said, it looks like Bird made a bunch of mistakes there. But Coffee now has gone to 132.3 provisional pole position. The Red Bull will cross the line at ARC Mickey with 140.0. But You know what's crazy? We have two results from tier 2 here. ALC Mickey and Parkour. Let's put their tires on. ALC Mickey and Parkour. That's absolutely incredible. As Deck with a 131.2, Basil will go 132.0, goes up to P2. Deck, the man, the myth, the legend. He won his last China race and he'll be looking to do that again here in tier 1. And we'll see how much he can push to get that victory. Definitely will be looking for. After 2 straight podiums in the first 2 races, victory will be the next target for that man. As Bam in the Alpine will be finishing his lap, going up to P4 with a 132.4. Like I said, that time Bird did was definitely not good at all, as he made a bunch of mistakes here and there. But he will go for another one now, as the Williams of Hazer 131.6 can't get that provisional pole position just yet. But the Bird now will start another lap, and we have the McLaren behind him of Wizard Rex. His first race back, Wizard Rex, and I used to call him Mr. P6. Remember I said it in the inter-tier race. Mr. P6 is back again, and on his first run in the quali, he goes up to P6. He just lost to being P6. He was my teammate in McLaren when I was there. Absolutely brilliant driver, and he will be showing what he can do for the McLaren outfits, who desperately need a driver like him, as Parkour with a 132.4. And as you can see, she does have the pace, faster than ARC Mickey, who are her tier 2 compatriots by 4/10 already on her first try at China. She is definitely one to watch, as I believe 8 more drivers now are yet to complete a lap, and they will be out there to surely do so. As we're going to head down to the Haas of Woody with a 133.2. He is one of those drivers that is in a tier that is exactly where he should be. Also like ARC Mickey, probably be a front runner in tier 2. We don't want those dominant ones that will just run away. The only tier that you could really have a dominant driver that could run away with it, that there's nothing we can do, is obviously tier 1, because tier 1 there's no limits to the pace. But that driver, if he's just too quick for the league, will definitely be removed at the end of the season. That's how things usually go around here. But next to cross the line is going to be the Bird, and this time around, does he get enough to go up there? 131.5 for Bird, 3/10 slower than Deck. Like I said, my prediction was for Deck to win the race here today, because I know the pace that he has, and he's already showing that with Destroyer Jack going up to P5, 132.0. Another tier 2 driver that has the pace to be up here as he goes out to the grass. Almost goes for a spin there. It just shows you how tough tier 2 actually is, because we have 3 tier 2 drivers already in the top 10. ALC Mickey, Parkour, and Destroyer Jack. It shows you how difficult it is down in tier 2, especially for the lower end drivers. It just moved up from tier 3. The likes of myself, Iceman, and Diddy Friend, who most likely 3 of us will be racing at the back of the pack for the remainder of the season, trying to get as much points as we can for our teams. But that's what you get when you get promoted from a tier like tier 3. You have to race ultimate racers. It's Parkour still in that top 10. Next to cross the line is going to be the McLaren. Has done his lap already, so should be going to be actually Steel Lane. Steel Lane will be starting his second push lap of the session, as he's done one already with a 133.0 and be looking to improve on that time. His teammate is 132.6, Wizard Rex. Not a bad time. And how it's looking, I don't want to say too much just in case she's listening and she's just going to sandbag. How it's looking is like Parkour is not going to be allowed to race tomorrow. We'll see at the end of the race today. We'll see at the end of qualifying how she does. But we're going to stick with her now, as she is currently on a lap. Is she improving on her quickest time? Going into the hairpin now, very clean from Parkour. Look at how quick she does it. She's going to head to the final corner now. She goes down to medium just to get through this corner, to get as much grip as she can. Uses all that overtake. And where is she going to go when she crosses the line? She does not improve there, down by 3/10 on her quickest time. She will obviously have to go find another push there. See if she can improve on that time. But it's looking clean now. Both Mercedes drivers still yet to set a time, as Mr. P will be crossing line to first his set time first time in the session, goes up to P5, 131.8. Not a bad time from him. 2/10 behind Hazer. As behind him, I believe that's his teammate Merck that will be getting the slipstream from the Mercedes in front. Exactly what you need, as the teammates of Mercedes will be working in close tandem here today, knowing that they're going to have a lot of competition on this grid, and if they want to get good points like they did at Vegas and also in the first race, they're going to have to work together. Almost all drivers, except for the drivers doing their engine pens, have set. Interesting to see EMP not qualifying. I don't know why he do that. He doesn't need to serve an engine pen when you reserve. Reserves don't serve engine pen when you head up to the high test. He is serving a pen. It's a confusing one. But Pesci right on top now with a 130.5. Unbelievable. I didn't even see that. 7/10 away from the man in P2. But Pesci, the team principal of the Williams, looking to lead his team to a constructors title. He's been a team principal who has been dedicated to his team for the past 3 seasons. Now, can he grab that gold? That surely feels good. And I can tell you that it does feel very good to grab that gold. But it's nice to grab that gold for yourself as a driver championship. When it's all of you in a team, everybody's happy, the mood is great around, and you make friends forever. Drivers that you won championship with before, drivers that you do not forget. As Basil goes up to P3 with a 131.3. What a time from him. Unbelievable from Basil. Do not expect that from him, but there you are in P3. Very surprising grid right now, as Paco now dropped down to out of the top 10. The tier 2 drivers understandably out of the top 10, except from Destroyer Jack with a 132.0. He is the best out of 10 right now. And another driver is actually quite strong. Some of these drivers are actually tier 1, pace. I don't even know what they're doing in tier 2. I don't know. Are these drivers just bagging their times in TTs and giving Mr. P and Viva a hard time trying to place them? Because the fact that Destroyer Drac, last week he didn't really have the best quali at Vegas, but he was having a very good race before the safety car incident that he had. That could have been a very good position, but Paco is still the one to watch. He's the one with the pace. And we'll see how much he can improve on her current lap, as the McLarens of Wizard Rex and Steele, not in the top 10 yet, but at least they have 2 drivers now that will be scoring points for their team. As Rusted Bolt, a driver that was looking to get a good position last week, but the mistake that he made dropped him to the back, and surely he'll be looking for redemption this time around to continue Red Bull's fight, Visa RB's fight for constructors title. They've been going for the past 3 seasons. In season 7 they did finish in P3, then P2 in season 8. Now in season 9 they'll be looking to get that P1 that, like I said before, does feel just so sweet, as the McLaren of Steve Lane will be completing his next lap here, and he will improve on his time, but not in his place as he stays down in P15. The Red Bulls here, as you can see, working together using that ERS as Paco, that's ARC. Paco moved to the side for ARC. They surely gained a lot of time down that straight using that ERS. Interesting for me, ARC moving to the right there. Usually you just stay on the racing line, the driver giving you that slipstream. If you want to move to the right, ARC goes up to P7, 131.9. A strong time from him there. These are, mind you, these are 2 tier 2 drivers, by the way. Let's keep watching them, because Paco now, she does have that Visa RB in front of her, blocking her from her teammate's sight, but he's definitely in front. Going to slow down to make sure that she gets that slipstream. As you can see, he's now going to tuck in front of his teammates. So let's watch the Red Bulls here. The Red Bulls that moved up from P4 all the way to P2, a very strong gain from them last season. And as I believe they had about 3 podiums, something like that last week. Very strong display from the Red Bulls as they gained on the leaders with about 16 points. As moving out the way there, ALC Mickey for Paco, it looks like she might have been gaining too much on him, And she's going to make a little bit of mistake there and sliding off. She wouldn't have time now to come into the pits for another lap, so surely she has to recharge here and go for a push lap at the end of this one, because with 3 minutes to go here in qualifying, that definitely is going to be end for her. As ARC Mickey, he knows he's in a good position. He just will see if any other drivers around can't do anything about it. They will all be coming out soon for their final push laps in this race. As Pesci, who's still sitting at the top, 7/10 away from death, continuing his drivers' championship charge, will start his final lap of the session. Oh, it doesn't look like he's going to zone none. Interesting from him. Looks like he's just going for another out lap here. And we're starting his final lap on this one. As Bird now will improve 2/10 behind Pesci, and it's only going to be P2 for the Visa RB. He's going to have to settle for that, depending what all the other drivers around him do on their current laps. Parkour now will have to go for another push lap after making a mistake on our previous lap. Mercedes and the Ferrari moving out the way for the Red Bull there. And we'll see, does she improve on her first sector? We're going to head to the Visa RBs as Rusted Boats. They're all on out laps now. It's only her that's on a push lap, I believe. So we're going to stick with her. Let's see Wizard Vex. He's also on a push lap. Is he ahead of the Red Bull? Yes, he is ahead of the Red Bull. So let's stick with Wizard Vex first. See what time we're here. There's an Aston Martin of coffee. It looks like he is on. He's going to be doing push lap when he does cross the line. So we're going to still stick with Wizard Vex, who is improving by 2/10. And 2/10 improvement, we'll see him go ahead of Bam and maybe Parkour, but he will need a little bit more if he wants to get into that top 10. About 3.5 tenths will be exactly what he will need, or 4 tenths actually, exactly what he will need to beat Woody in P10. As moving out the way, the Williams not looking to give the McLaren that slipstream. Deck in that kick Sauber will be starting his final push lap now. But first, it's going to be the McLaren of Wizard Vex, about to pass the last corner and the start finish line. Is he improving on his time? Where can Wizard Vex go on his first race back in UFRL? It's up to P12. Wizard Vex goes, and that will be that for him in qualifying. Next to cross the line, it's going to be Parkour. And what time can she get when it crosses the line? Is she improving? Up to P6 she goes, ahead of Mr. P. Mr. P though will be starting his final lap here. Behind him is the Mercedes of Merck. They will be working together. Basil in P4 starting his final lap, and this is the final shoot here in qualifying. She gets P6 and her teammate in P8. As you can see, another great display from Parkour. She's just afraid to be up here, but definitely she's going to be up here at the end of this. I even forgot about Jameson. That just shows you the amount of front runners that they have in Red Bull. We have Jameson and Cowley in Tier 3, who can both finish on the podium every week. And we have Parkour and ARC in Tier 2, who can't finish on the podium every week. Then we have Parkour, who can reserve for Tier 1. So definitely something has to be done about that team, or they're definitely going to just run away with it, because the Williams are in a good position right now, but Pesci and Hayes are going to constantly having to get great positions. And can Deck get a great position here? No, he will improve on his time, but it's going to be P3 for him. The top 3 still stay the top 3 as they were when they crossed the line at Vegas. Can anybody knock those 3 down now, as they're showing that they have the most pace out of everybody here in Tier 1. Boto is improving by almost 6 tenths, coming out of the final corner. Where can that Visa RB driver go? Up to P5. Unbelievable from him. The Mercedes behind is going to be UFRL Merck and Mr. P. Mr. P looks like he made a mistake behind. Can Merck improve on his time? Up to P4 he goes. A strong time from him, as the Williams of Hazer is going to finish his lap. Up to P4, knocks down the Mercedes. Next is going to be the Alpine of Destroyer Drac, who will stay down in P12. An unbelievable qualifying here, as Pesci will get that pole position. I believe once again, I think he got pole position last week at Vegas. And that's another pole position for the Williams driver. The McLaren of Steel Lane will be finishing his lap. And that is going to be B15 for him. And that will be the set of the grid. Bakor will start in P9 ahead of Mr. P into the top 10. She's going to start. However, Tier 2 drivers in 11 and 12 just goes to show you that they're exactly where they're meant to be. The front runners in Tier 2. But she should be be in tier 1. I told you I was the biggest advocate of parkour moving up. I'll stay the biggest advocate of parkour having to move up here. As you can see, that's the end of qualifying. The top 3 are the top 3. No one can have anything to say about it. Hazer still in the position that he always in, that right behind that top 3, and Merck will continue their rivalry that they've gained this season, and we'll see if they can stay away from each other in this race. A race that surely is going to be an exciting one if we can go off what we just saw at quali. But there you go. That is your grade for the race. Pesci will start at the top, Bell in P2, and Deck will be in P3. We have 2 Scotsmen in the top 3. I'm still, when anytime I see Pesci with a Scottish flag, I still think, is he actually Scottish? Because anytime I hear his accent, I'm like, this guy doesn't sound Scottish in any way. Maybe he's just trolling. I'll take his Scottish citizenship away from him. You don't sound like a Scotsman. As 5 minutes, we will return for racing. Which is going to be a very interesting one. We'll probably be going at 8, 9, actually 8, I believe it's 8 on your side. 8:41. So please do not ready up. We did have one of those early ready ups in the 100% tier. Please do not do it. 5-minute break, and we will be back. Can I just say that other tier 2s are close to me? Yeah, other tier 2s are close to you, but you're beating a lot of strong tier 1 drivers, and you're in the top 10. Remember that ARC got that slipstream and still couldn't beat you. He got that massive slipstream from you and still couldn't beat you. So that just shows you the pace that you have. Don't be afraid of the pace you have, parkour. Embrace it. Embrace it. Move up to tier 1. Embrace it. Enjoy it. You can always get Jamieson or Cowley to, reserve for you guys in tier 2. Those are also strong drivers. I see Jamieson getting... Jamieson, to me, I don't know why I'm in tier 2. Is quicker than me. I bet if we do go into a race, you see him beating me in a race, because I'm a back marker in tier 2. So if he does reserve in tier 2, he can't get strong enough points to beat the likes of myself, DD, Iceman, who run at the back in tier 2. So I'm not going to let you guys cheat your way to a constructors. If you want to do it, you're going to have to do it the right way, like we did in the past 2 seasons. I mean, we had Mateus last season. I'll raise my hand to that, but tier 1 drivers can't be promoted. Nah, I really think that. I've seen you race. I really think that. If you're the quickest in tier 3, you can't beat me, because I am a backmarker in tier 3. I was in tier 3 last season, by the way. I was just moved up because I tried to sweat my TT times as much as possible, so I could be cheap as hell and get quick drivers. But my picks were quite terrible in the draft. So after picking Merck and Mr. P, I didn't really have that much options. Picking Dog, I didn't expect him to be this strong, but he's a big surprise. He's been a big surprise for us at Mercedes, and we're very, very appreciative of that for Dog, because we did expect him just to be finishing in the top 10. But for the fact that he's gotten a podium and a P4 in the last 2 races, maybe even 2 podiums now after penalties, I can't remember. Hopefully, we can get one more driver in tier 3 and compete to keep our title, because we keep falling back as the races go, especially from the Williams team. And that's not what I want. If I want to lose this title, I want us to lose it with a fight. If we can't get that second tier 3 driver, I don't see it happening for us. I don't see us being able to hold on to the might of Williams or the Red Bulls if parkour stays in tier 2. But yeah, we'll be back. What does the time say in Race Day Lounge when the race will resume? Yeah, 2042. So I'll be back. I need to quickly go get something. Pretty sure you have another driver for American Tier 2 now anyways. Yeah, I think we're getting a new driver, but I haven't been offered him yet. I think it's meant to be media speaking. I mean, sometimes they speak to Mr. P, who is Mr. P is just trying to steal my team from me, you know. But I'll say he's the vice TP. I can give him that title of vice TP because he does do a lot of. It actually helps me a lot when it comes to this stuff. Well, actually, one of the big reasons why we won it again last season, boys. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights ahead of the drivers in round 3. China, foot to the floor and go, go, go. Pesci, is he going to keep his pole position heading to turn 1 as Bird goes side by side with him? Pesci's going to start on those hard tires, and does he have the grip to keep the Visa RB from taking the lead of the race? As they come out of turn 3 round the outside, the Visa RB is going to go. Pesci can still keep fighting it here, but he's going to have to let it go at some point as Bird now has taken this lead of this race. And there's yellow flags at the back. The Mercedes are spun. Oh, Mr. B's a safety car, 10-second penalty, as it looks like something might have happened. Maybe Woody went into him, or maybe after going for a spin. A 10-second penalty for parkour too. What is going on here? It looks like she might have gone into the back of someone under the safety car. And not a great start for the Mercedes team. Mr. P, Woody and parkour. But that's going to be a safety car right at the start of this race. And they're just going to go for that. But the question is now is, these drivers that have been messed up by the starting situation of this race are going to be on the hard tires. And they're going to have to go on the mediums, and they still will have to pit one more time. I mean, the hard tires probably can't go to the end from here. You absolutely struggle if you try to do that. But EMT, looks like he was glitching a little bit there. Why did he look like he was glitching? He's glitching badly, as you can see. I saw him move back on track. I'm like, sir, you can't reverse on track, sir. And see, he's now 10 seconds away from the pack. I don't know what's going on with EMT, but he might have been one of the ones that was in the incident. But his wing is clean. Doesn't look like anything has happened to him. But obviously not a great start for the Mercedes team, but a good one for the Williams drivers, who are still leading the way here. Bird deciding it is going to be a hard tire pit stop for him under the safety car. Is he deciding to go for the long run all the way to the end with the hards? Ooh, this is an interesting call, as this race is not one of the no hard tire races. You can spot those hard tires all the way to the end. Most drivers starting on them have to stay out on them. See how it works for the Bird. Can he get past the traffic to make sure that Pesci does not pull away before he has to do his pit stop? Because if Pesci is about almost 15 seconds away from him before his pit stop, then you do expect Pesci to still win the race. The strategy that he'll be going for. A Bird though deciding to risk it, and we'll see if that risk works out for him. The driver we're going to wait for now is going to be Woody. We'll have to take it with that 10. As Rusted both now with a 10. Going into the back of the Mercedes. Another driver losing his wing. I saw something flying on track. What a start to this race. What is going on? EMT has left the session. He has retired. Looks like he might have been a little bit too laggy. And it's chaos right at the start here at China, as if Ferrari will move to the side and the drivers will get past him there. Let's see which driver lost. I believe it was Rusted, but let's look at that Visa RB. Was he the one who lost his end plate? Yes, he was. Left side end plate gone from that Visa RB. Let's see parkour. She went into the back of someone, so her wing is still clean. Red Bulls in 6 and 7. Just look how they're performing. Unbelievable. You see how they'll finish at the end of this race. Destroyer Drag also clean. We'll go through all of them to see that they do have their wings stable. Most people have their wings stable, except from obviously the drivers who are going into the pit. But right now, this Rusted Bolt, the only driver on track with wing damage after going into the back of UFRL Merc. And we're still going to have to wait for the Haas of Woody to join into the back of the pack before we can begin racing here. So definitely the safety car will come into the pit at the end of this next lap that is about to begin. Rusted Bolt now has to go into the pit and change that wing. It's going to be hard tires for him and a new wing for the Visa RB. So Visa RB's dropping into the back here, not what they will want at all. The Williams and the Red Bull team will be absolutely delighted seeing that, because their competitors in the constructors are not having a good day here. The Kick Sauber, only one driver in front. Black Panther in P11 will also try to make as much points as he can for his team. But the Williams and the Red Bulls are the biggest gainers here. As you can see, all these drivers getting really close. A very interesting track this is. What happens in Shanghai must stay in Shanghai, really, yes. At this point, what happens here must also stay here. Because it's getting absolutely spicy. It's not for the kids, it's not for the eyes of the kids. There's lots of assault going on the track. But safety car definitely will be coming into the pits at the end of this one. The visa will be rusted, but will catch up to them before they get to the third sector line. Maybe, but doesn't matter. I believe before they get to the safety car line, he will be behind them, and they can. Fernandez really has joined again. Who is this? We need to find who this is. We need to find who this is, and we need to arrest them. Is it AFT? Who's trolling me? Who's trolling me? Who just keeps joining the chat like that? I'm not. You guys are seeing it too, right? You guys are seeing it too. I'm not the only one seeing it. When Fernandez really joins the chat. By the way, I'm already in here. Whoever that is an imposter. Absolute imposter. The safety car is definitely going to be coming in at the end of this one. As Pesci will be leading the way, warming up his tires, making sure not to go. We have to make sure not to go too slow this time around. He's backed off from the pack a lot, so safety car here is coming in, so I have to make sure he doesn't go too slow this time around. He does have the space to not go too slow, to not have to slow down so much, just so that he doesn't go too early when the safety car does come in. So no excuse this time around for the Williams, who will be leading the pack on the way, coming out to the hairpin. Now, when will he go is the question. I mean, the smart choice probably would be to go as they were coming out of that hairpin. Everybody's just still coming out of that hairpin. But here he goes now, and he's off. A good start from the Williams driver, as Merck in that Mercedes can't put pressure on Hazer in front, looking for it down the inside, but not close enough. This time around, going into top one. Who will be close enough to make a move here? Destroy that? Nobody, as they will stay as they were. The Bird, though, round the outside of Coffee, is going to take that place up to P13, already making places. The Visa RB, not wasting time whatsoever. Coffee will still fight it, but there's nothing he can do, as the Bird now has moved up a place, and his next target right in front of him. Bam, though, joining this fight side by side with Coffee. The Bird already making a place on Black Panther, making contact with Coffee there as they're going side by side. Round the outside, Bam is going to go. He almost squeezes in between the Kick Sauber and the Aston Martin. That could have been an absolute nightmare for the drivers there, as Colin is going to try around the outside of Bam here. Ferrari still trying to move. Bird still making places. Another place made on the Haas, and the next is going to be the McLaren of Steel Lane. Unbelievable driving here from Bird. Will he dive it down the inside? No, he will not. He's going to hold it back. But the Black Panther is going to dive it down the inside, though, taking that place from JCFC. Still squabbling at the back, these drivers, as Bam is going to go side by side with the Ferrari and making contact. Mercedes behind is going to be compromised from that, but he has to keep going now, tucking right behind in the pack. Behind Woody he goes. They're going to lose DRS at the back. They're going to have to do a good job to catch up back to that, as Rusted Bolt compromise the Alpine, and down the inside is going to try and make that move, but the Alpine is going to have to defend it around the outside. He has those medium tires, he has the traction, he has the grip. Black Panther making it past Coffee, side by side at Basil and Coffee go, but Coffee is going to keep that place, going a little bit wide there. An unbelievable start to this race. We're just at the start, and these drivers are absolutely giving it their all, as Deck now right behind Pesci, doing a good job to make sure that Pesci doesn't run away with this one. He does have that pace to do so. And we're going to go to the back, this is where all the fights are happening now. As you can see, 4 drivers side by side. The Ferrari Alpine, the Haas and the Visa RB. They're all giving it their all to make up these places. Viva now has moved up to the top 10. A great start from him here. He's looking for another top 10 finish twice in a row, and he surely will be happy with that. As Bam now getting past JCFC up to P15. JC now on the inside, he has that problem of the Visa RB, but he has dispatched of that, going around the outside and keeping his place, as Bam now will want to get back into the back of Basil there to make sure he does not lose that DRS. Visa Vex though has lost to DRS to destroy a drag in front. They're absolutely cooking up here, and as you can see, parkour Nothing else I got to say about Parkour. Look where she is, right behind the front runners in Tier 1. ARC Mickey 2, Destroyer Drag. Tier 2 drivers are absolutely brilliant. As there's another safety car. The Coffee. It looks like something happened to Coffee there. There's no damage on his car. But that's going to be another safety car coming out in this race. Would the drivers decide to go into the pits? The hard tire runners surely will have to stay out. The mediums will die. If they're done, if you do 23 laps on them, 16 laps on them, and they're already absolutely gone. So most of them, as you can see, are staying out. The medium tire of Destroyer Drag though will have to come into the pits. The same thing as Basil and the teammates. The Alpine teammate Bam staying out. Interesting call for him. Might have been a better strategy to go into the pits here. As Mr. P now will be flying into the pits. It might be onto the hard tires for the Mercedes. And for the other drivers who went onto the medium tires on the first safety car. They've got it now, that escape, that chance that they can to get those hard tires and run to the end, because the other drivers in front will have to come into the pit one more time in this race with 22 laps to go. How will these work out for these 3 drivers at the back who decided it's now time to get back on those hard tires and run it all the way to the end? The drivers in front of them have done 4 extra laps on their tires, so they will have better tires than them. But when they do come into the pits, those medium tires, the pace that they do have, fresh medium on older hards here at China, is absolutely night and day. That's what we're looking for. But it looks like at the end of this race, depending on where Parkour finishes, this is good. This is going to be her last. Last week was going to be her last week in tier. Last week was going to be her last week in tier 2. I just got a message. Let me see if. Okay, yeah. Let me see. Okay, I thought I just got a message. I thought I just got a message from from someone in the league saying there's a problem with the stream, but it doesn't look like it's a personal message. But the safety car should be coming into the pits at the end of this one, maybe. I think it should be. No, it doesn't look like, because it will come in earlier if it was. There's going to be one more lap around. I believe this is their first lap around with it anyways. There has to be 2 laps around with the safety car before it does come in. But Mr. P, Colin and Woody will be very happy seeing what's happening here. Can they now stick on these hard tires all the way to the end? That's exactly what they will need to do, because any other strategy now will just see them finishing at the back, especially here at China. Puff and Destroyer Drag, fresh hards, also another driver that will be going to the end of this race. ACFC making a place as Bam will now go into the pits. I don't know why he didn't go into the pits on the previous one. There will have been no time lost, because his teammate was a considerable distance away from him. So he probably should have gone into the pits, because now he's still going to drop to the back anyways. But I mean that just gets you a lap fresher tires, so maybe it's a workout for him as he's still in the pit lane. Okay, that's just a little bit of a glitch. There. 10-second penalties for most of these for the drivers that got them. Let's see who got them. Oh yeah, has it been removed? I saw Parkour getting a 10. How come she doesn't have that 10 anymore? I don't remember her going into the pits. This is interesting. Let me see. Maybe the penalty system is getting, because there has to be some drivers with penalties, right? I'm not tripping. There has to be some drivers with penalties. Anyways, let the game handle that. If someone can explain to me why there are no penalties for some of these drivers, because some of them have the ones. Okay, I know Woody got the 10, he went into the pit. Bolt got the 10, he went into the pit. So obviously they'll get it taken off there. Mr. P didn't get a 10, but Parkour got a 10, and it's not showing when I do the penalty. So maybe she went into the pits, but it doesn't look like. She's been on these tires just like everybody else from the start of this race. So we'll see how that goes. Interesting from the game. Like, is this a new glitch that doesn't show the penalties? As EMT says, I hate this game. What happened to you, EMT? If you can explain to us. Do you just disconnect and the game DNF'd you like what it usually does when people disconnect? As Pesci is going to be leading the pack once again, to make sure that he did it as impeccable as he did last time around. We're going to watch that safety car to see exactly when it does come in. But as you can see, the drivers weaving on track, trying to get the heat under those tires. Some drivers deciding that it's pointless doing that. You can just go on, honestly, you can just go on AI and they'll warm it up for you. But remember that when you're on AI, if anybody, Paco with another 3-second penalty. Interesting, getting the 3-second penalty under a safety car is not really what you want to do. Looks like she might have extended it. But as you can see, the penalties are showing now. Where's the 10 that she got earlier? Or maybe I'm tripping. Maybe it wasn't her who actually got that 10. But they go now. Pesci is going to lead the way. Is anybody close enough to make a move under the safety car here? As it doesn't look like the McLaren though. Looks like the McLaren of Wizard Rex round the outside of Coffee. Will take that place from him. Up to P8, Wizard Rex goes. It's a good start for his first race back in Tier 1 in UFRL in general. Woody and Bam. Bam making a place on Woody behind, getting up to P18. And those drivers that have gone into the pits now will have to go all the way to the end on those hard tires. You see how that strategy does work out for them. But if they want it to work for them, they have to stop fighting. They're going to have to work together. Just keep DRS switching over and over again to the end of the race. Then you can now put in a fight against it. Because if you start fighting now, you're just making the drivers in front gain more time on you. So the best thing to do right here, just stick behind and just keep using that DRS. But we're going to keep watching now to see who's close. As Destroyer Drag, Basil has made a place on him up to P15. Colin goes. Destroyer Drag has now lost that place, but it's just the start of the race. He can notice that Basil has the pace and he can just stick behind him. And there's another driver who has gone into the pits as Paco now will be overtaken by her teammate ARC Mickey. Moves up to P5 and they will be working together here to make sure that the bird stays behind her. The bird never stays behind. Oh my god, my mic just fell. The bird never stays behind. He's going to go around the outside of the Red Bull and his next target will be the other Red Bull, and already charging to the top. The bird up to P6 he goes. Or can he take those tires to the end? Probably not. He's going to have to do one more pit stop in this one as Black Panther now making a move on Coffee down the inside up to turn 1. The Aston Martin, the Aston Martin has been cleared now by the kick Sauber now. He'll be trying to get as much points for his team. Rusted Bolt and JCFC though, fighting through the corners. Rusted Bolt inside, outside, back to the inside. He's going to take that place from the Haas. Up to P12 he goes. Unbelievable fighting from these drivers. Like they said, they do not like China, but I'm absolutely loving it here because the fights don't stop as Bird is not going to stop. Round the outside he goes on ARC Mickey up to P6. His next target now is going to be Merck in that Mercedes and the top 4, who definitely were not surprisingly in the top 4. But as they can see when they look behind, Bird is absolutely charging and he's going to join that fight. With one lap fresher hard tires than them, he will definitely have to go into the pits at the end of this one. Quickest second sector for him there, 8 tenths faster than his quickest second sector, but it looks like just because of that safety car, as Mr. P now has made a place on Colin up to P15 he goes. He's going to have to recover his race after not really a great start at the start of this one. Wizard Rex now has spun. Wizard Rex has spun. Is that going to be a safety car? No. He's going to have to spin around here and he's going to have to keep going. The McLaren, not the best start here as he goes for a spin. Down the inside, Rusted Bolt is now going to take the place on the other McLaren, who drops down to P11. And it's an exciting race here at China. China is not failing whatsoever. And if you talked nonsense on China, it is showing you here why it is a great track. It's up to Pesci we go, who is now 9 tenths away from deck. Will be looking to fall out. So that DRS down the inside, Hazer is going to go on deck. It looks like he might have made a little bit of contact there. Bird has already made a place on the Mercedes of Merck. They're now going to be fighting the Visa RB and the Williams driver of Hazer and Bird. But Bird now will look for it down the inside as he's going to go diving down the inside. Hazer can't hold it right outside. They're going to make a little bit of contact. That means the Mercedes, after the Williams is going to be compromised, will be looking to make his own move. Down to Coffee and JCFC. Coffee has made the plus on him. The Mercedes also taking the advantage now up to P13. He's absolutely charging now right behind Coffee. Now they're going to have to catch back into the DRS of the pack in front if they want to claw back to the front. But we know that Mr. P is going to look to stay out on these tires all the way to the end. 18 more laps that he's going to have to do and 18 more laps of absolute dread here at China. His teammate though in that Mercedes is very close to Hazer in front. These two, the rivalry brewing up with them now is going to have a brew as we head down to the straight. He activates that ERS and his DRS, going to be gaining on the Williams, who's going to defend it on the inside. Can the Mercedes complete that move? The Williams trying to give him a little bit of a squeeze. The Mercedes has the better line. Round the outside, he is going to go here. Can he get it done on Hazer? As Hazer now, good job to defend it. The Mercedes though is still going to look around the outside. Hazer is not going to give it up around the outside. Can he hit him with the switchback? Yes, he's going to. They're both going to have that DRS and they're going to keep fighting down to turn 1, using all their ERS to keep fighting here. But Mark will complete that move. Up to P4 he goes. And can Hazer hit him again with switchback? But that's not what you want to see. Oh my God, Hazer, don't take my driver out, please. Chill, Hazer, please, chill. Oh my God, as Parkour talks right behind them and is going to join this fight. The fighting that they're doing though, that just means they're going to lose the top 3. Not what they will want to do. Losing that top 3 is not a good strategy, especially in the pace, with the pace that they have in front. Going to have to work together to keep them by. Hazer and Merck going to have to work together here. The fighting that they're doing is not really conducive for those two drivers, as Rusted Bolt now puts in pressure on UFRL Viva, who's having a very good race here. Still in P9, right behind Black Panther, still in the top 10. And if he does finish in the top 10, will surely be a very happy man. JCFC making contact with Colin there. JCFC going wide, but making contact with Colin as Destroyer Track is not going to make a place on JCFC. More yellow flags at the back. It looks like Woody might have made a little bit of a mistake, but that's not going to be a safety car. Pesci still leads this way. Merck and cut back into the DRS of the drivers in front, and is going to have to push now as the Bird though goes down the inside of deck there and moves up to P2. His next target now is going to be leader. Unbelievable. What happened there? What happened there? As somebody has gone for a spin. Parkour has gone for a spin. Looks like contact was made somewhere. Drivers are going to take advantage of this. And it's absolute chaos here at China. The drama never stops. I can never stop talking at this point. I'm going to lose my voice at the end of this race as Deck putting pressure on him. Merck now wants to catch up back into the DRS as Parkour now has fallen back at the back of Destroyer Track, who's looking to go into the end on these tires, but has now lost the DRS in front. So his strategy might change later in this race, but I do not know what happened there. The steward though will be handling that, because definitely as there's more yellow flags at the back, the Haas team not really having the best day here, as another mistake from JCSC. We're not going to show him though, but there's no point just piling that down on him. As Hazer down in P9, looks like Hazer was the Williams who did spin after the contact that was made in front. Merck now alone in P4 will still be trying to catch up to the drivers in front. Does he have the pace to do so though, as they will be working together to use that DRS to keep him away. ARC Mickey still doing a good job here for the Red Bull outfit. Another tier 2 driver as Viva now up to P7 he goes. Look at Viva flying. Unbelievable. Next target now is going to be ARC without the DRS. Viva activates his ERS and his DRS is going to be gaining on that Red Bull. And as the Aston Martin wheels turn around, quicker and quicker, gaining closer and closer to the Red Bull, switching to the outside, and is going to complete that move up to P6. The charging Aston Martin goes. Red Bull, the Red Bull of Rusted Bolt try to make it out the outside of ARC, but nothing doing. Colin though and Coffee are still squabbling. Side by side they go into this corner that you do not want to be side by side. Can Colin run around the outside? He's going to be pushed wide there, and he's going to take that place for him. Is that overtaking? Is that overtaking outside the track from Colin there? I do not know. We'll see. Maybe Coffee will send that in. But here we go now. ARC Mickey trying it on Hazer. Hazer going to keep that pace. Can he hit him with the switchback here? No, we cannot. Not enough from him. But Bird and Pesci will be fighting in front. Maybe this will be the chance for Merck to get back to the drivers who are absolutely squabbling for places in front. Rusted Bolt. A good start to this race here after he did get that damage and went into the pace. Now up to P7. A lot of strategies that are going to be played out in this race. The drivers who are on 7 laps on their tires, 7 or 8 laps on their tires, will be looking to go to the end. But how well would that work out for them with 15 laps to go in this race? The hard tire runners who have stayed out from the start of the race will soon be coming into the pit lane, I believe on lap 17, 18 maybe. I'll be doing 10 laps on the medium. 10 laps of absolute pushing, 10 laps of absolute pace. Another chance for the kick Sauber on Bird now as he heads down the straight, down the inside. He's going to go for it. Will Bird fight around the outside to make it difficult for Deck here? He's not going to. Deck makes the place on him. Mercedes of Merck now has been overtaken by Black Panther. Up to P4 he goes, and Rusted Bolt has lost that DRS to them in front. But Viva, look at the pace that driver has. His next target now is going to be Rusted Bolt. Of one Red Bull cleared and a lap before, and the sister team is going to be cleared before turn 1. Hazer is also going to make that move before turn 1. Up to P8 he goes, and these drivers, they looking every corner is an overtake opportunity for these tier 1s, and they're absolutely showing that as Deck in front now, putting pressure on Pesci, who's done a great job to stay in the lead of this race for most of this lap. And with the composure, with the racecraft, with the pace that this man in the Williams have, you do expect him to be your championship winner. It's like another mistake for the McLaren behind, who's going to have to keep pushing out. Bezu has left the session. Unbelievable for Bezu. That means he's going to be losing that pace. That will give Bam the opportunity now to get ahead of him, but he was catching up to Coffee and the McLaren in front, and he surely wouldn't be a happy man with what just happened there. Mr. Pido will have to use his pace now to try to catch up to ARC Mickey and the 4 cars squabbling in front. And this strategy now with 14 laps to go in this race. I do not know what happened. I can't predict this one. It's a race that has been thrilling from the start. 14 laps in, and we are still getting thrilling racing here as Black Panther and Merc can work together. Behind though, Viva is under pressure from Rusted Bolt. Round the outside he goes. Hazer is also going to make that place on Viva. Hazer is also going to make that place on Rusted Bolt. Side by side, these two drivers who have raced each other for many seasons now. They absolutely know each other, but Rusted Bolt can't keep that place in P6. Hazer though, with that DRS, is going to be gaining going into turn 1. Will he look for it down the inside? He will look for it down the inside. He will get it down the inside, and up to P6 he goes. All these drivers will have to go into the pits. The first driver who wouldn't have to go into the pits, who might go for the long strategy, is Mr. P. But how well will that work out for him? Where can he finish if he does go for that strategy? As you can see, the 4 drivers in front of him, would they be able to catch up to him when they do go into the pits for that mediums? I do not think that's likely. But obviously, apart from that, Black Panther and the rest of them might be able to. Maybe not Mark and Black Panther, we'll see. I don't know how to predict this one, but Deck, Pesci and Bird are fighting here. I did predict Deck will finally get the win that he'll be looking for, and he's in a good position to do so. More yellow flags at the back as it looks like the McLaren gets him past JCFC, who's out of the session. JC, was he getting past JC there? No, the McLaren was getting past the Alpine, I believe. The Alpine and McLaren fighting there as Parkour. More mistakes from her. Yellow flags at the back. She now right in front of Destroyer Drag. Pesci though is finally going to be overtaken by Deck, who finally takes the lead of this race. His teammate does the same thing on Merc behind. Up to P4 he goes. As Rusted Bolt now looks like he has been hit by Hazer, and that means he's going to lose a place to Viva, who moves up to P6 here. And Hazer looks like he has tapped the back of Rusted Bolt going into the pits though. Hazer, not the best race from this man here. I don't know, penalties definitely will be coming for that Williams driver. As Rusted Bolt now has lost even more time, and Viva even more time to the drivers in front. But one driver that will be loving exactly what is happening in front is Mr. P. Another 3-second penalty for Parkour. She will be going into the pits for her pit stops now. A lot of them are going into the pits for their pit stops now. As down the inside, Bird is going to go. Deck has lost 2 places for Pesci and to Bird now, but 3 and 4 that the Kick Sauber team holds will be a very strong 3 and 4 that they will absolutely be loving here. And which team can gain the most points here in tier 1? That's turning out to be a very exciting race. I'm absolutely loving this. Absolutely loving this. As we have Merc now still behind Black Panther. They're going to keep working together here to make sure that the drivers behind stay behind and stay as far as they are. As they're going to be starting lap 17 at the end of this one. Would this be the moment? Who will be the first driver to come into the pits? As Pesci now, Bird now will make that move on Pesci. Into P1 he goes. Merck doing the same thing up to P4. And now I'm just going to stick to the front. I want to see if they're going into the pit. Pesci though around the outside into the final corner, takes that place back. Unbelievable from Pesci. What a move, as the ARC Mickey, who will be coming into the pits on those hard tires, all stay now. Will Steelane decide to throw it in now? No, it's not. It looks like it's going to be one more lap for the hard tire runners. It looks like that is the strategy for them here, as Basil now into the pits he goes. He's back into the session. He's going to have to go into the pits for medium tires all the way to the end. Mr. P up to P9 now, still pushing. Right behind him is Steelane. And how could this work out for them? How could this work out for him? How many seconds is he away from Hazer, who's taking a very tight line there, thinking like he's trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do there. Maybe warm up those tires. I don't know what that strategy is there. But I don't know, maybe he's trying to get enough rubber. He's trying to lay rubber down maybe. I don't know. As Mr. P now, we'll see where he finishes up in this race, because he's definitely going to be going to the end with about 10 laps to go in this race. But back to the front runners. When would they be going into the pits is my question now. I want to know, I need to know when these drivers will be going into the pits or their pit stops. And here we go now. Pesci still leading the way, and it doesn't look like there's going to be an overtake this time around. And will Pesci decide that he's going to pull the trigger first and hit that overcut on the drivers, overcut on the drivers behind him? And we'll see. Is he going to go into the pit, or is he going for another lap here? Look at that steering wheel. He baited the turn, but he's going to go into the pit. Deck also following him to the pit. Bird is going to stay out. Remember, Bird did do one extra lap on the tires that he was on. I mean, did have one extra lap of life on the tires he had on, because he went into the pit a lap on the first safety car that came in on the first lap. So that's why he's staying out for one more lap. But as you can see, he's struggling on those hard tires. That's Woody now with a 3-second penalty. Where will Mr. P come out? As he's going to the pits, he decides that staying out on those tires all the way to the end probably will not be the correct strategy to go on now. Coffee will be getting ahead of the Mercedes of Mr. P. Basil also will be getting ahead of the Mercedes now, but he's going to have to claw back. A bunch of them in front though, still yet to pit, as Deck that kick Sauber getting past Destroyer Drag. They do not want to be stuck behind the slower drivers, but as you can see, Pesci has gained a lot of time on Deck. 2.2 seconds now that he's gained on that kick Sauber. It looked like he might have been stuck behind the Alpine of Destroyer Drag. But when will Bird go into the pits? When will he trigger his own pit stop? It has to be now, because he'll be losing too much time if he doesn't decide to go in as we speak. We'll see how this goes. 10 laps to go in this race. That hard tire run all the way to the end doesn't look like the correct strategy, and none of them are going to be going for it here. But Bird still leads this race. When will he go into the pits? Will the safety car come in at the right moment for him here? No, it's not, as he is going to stay at one more lap. Okay, we're going to watch how that unfolds for him. His teammate though, Rusted Bolt, might trigger his own pit stop here. Nope, he's also going to go out another lap. Viva though triggers his own pit stop, and we'll see how this works out for the Visa RBs, who are currently 1 and 2. If a safety car comes out here, you know the Visa RBs are going to be absolutely delighted. They will be 1 and 2, as Bam moving up to P13. P3 gonna have to come into the pit stop. Pesci, Black Panther, and Deck all getting by here. We'll see as Merck now will fly past Black Panther, coming into the pit before him, has taken advantage and gained time on him, and is now going to be putting pressure on Hazer, trying around the outside. More yellow flags at the back. What's happened there? I don't know what's happened there, but it's not going to be a safety car. They're going to keep going. These two never give it up between themselves. As retired from the session, Parkour, she's out of the session in the pit lane. She decides that she's giving up on this race, a race that she had a good start to the race, but she struggled later on this one. And that means the points that the Red Bull team would definitely be wanting there is not going to come, because she decides that she is going to retire. ARC now is going to have to take the brunt of the points for the Visa RB team, as there's more yellow flags at the back. The Alpine and the Kick Sauber are squabbling here. Alpine slowing down that Kick Sauber even more. As you see now, Merck up to P6. Bam in front of him has to come into the pit. But Bolt and Ross and Bird also have to go into the pit, but Bird is staying out. As you can see though, Bird has a lot of time on Pesci behind. Will he decide to go, because he does have the pace, either for the soft run at the end or just go to the end on these hard tires, as Hazer now has made the place on Merc, as these two will not give up their rivalry. Black Panther is now going to talk right behind of them. Pesci now with the quickest lap over 1:33.1, looking to catch up to Bird. But what is Bird's strategy here now? Is it to stay out on these tires that he's on? Maybe that might just be the correct strategy call to go, because with 8 laps to go in this race, they'll be heavily struggling right at the end. Don't get it wrong, they'll be heavily struggling right at the end, but how much paces can they actually benefit from? Oh, as there's more contact between Colin and the Aston Martin of Coffee, as they go, more wheel banging between those two, as Coffee is not going to give it up on the inside. These two have been fighting since the start of the race. More wheel banging here, and they're not their elbows out between these two. And there we go, down the inside on the left-hander. Colin is going to take that place back on Coffee, who will try around the outside, but nothing doing here. Destroyer Jack losing even more time on those hard tires. It's like his strategy is falling apart from him here, but it might not fall apart for what's the bolt in front, because even if he loses places to the four drivers behind, for even 5, it would be a good place to finish ahead of Viva. Where's Viva here now? Look at Viva and Rusted Bolt just coming out of the chicane. Viva have enough pace with 7 laps to catch up to Rusted Bolt? I don't think so. Rusted Bolt and the Bird might have decided to, with a better call here, stay out on those hard tires all the way to the end. And if they do pull off this strategy, it's an absolutely brilliant masterclass from the Visa RBs here today, who are looking to continue their charge on the Constructors title. Pesci is still going to be chasing the drivers in front, but it doesn't look like he will have enough. He's definitely not going to have enough. 16 laps, 16 seconds in 7 laps, he's not going to have enough to catch Bird in front. So the drivers that decided to go in for fresh mediums, I don't think that was the right choice for the likes of Mr. P. The right choice might have just been to stay out on those hard tires and just go to the end. Push them to the end, if you just see what places you can make. But they decided to go in for the mediums, and they're going to have to fight with raw pace now if they want to make up places. Well, here we're going to have Merck still in a good position for Mercedes, or 5 seconds away from Deck in front. He's going to have pressure from Hazer and Black Panther behind. These 3 are going to be fighting for that P5 on the grid. Your Bird here has definitely won this race. I know he's not going to come into the pit. It will not be a smart strategy to come into the pit. The fact that he's 14 seconds away from Pesci with 6 laps to go, Pesci is going to have to gain at least more than 2 seconds a lap if he wants to beat Bird. He definitely, I think I see him definitely catching Bolt and beating Bolt, but for Bird, the pace that Bird has is very, very unlikely here. Destroyer Jack still out there, struggling on those hard tires. Mr. P is now going to be the next driver to make a move on him, as Hazer behind, watching as Black Panther makes that move on Mercedes. Aston Martins now are going to have to put pressure on Colin, who was absolutely fighting Coffee very hard here. They're going to be putting pressure on Colin and work together to get a double top 10 finish for the Aston Martin team. I would definitely be delighted with that showing, as Woody now making a move on the inside of Wizard Rex. Destroyer Drac now has lost the place to Mr. P. His next target now will be ARC Mickey in front. Then it will be Coffee. But can he finish in the top 10 at the end of this one? We will see. Bolt is definitely going to the end. And to me, I'm just going to call it here. Bolt and Rusted Bolt. Bolt and Bird have picked the correct strategy here. Staying out on those hard tires. And no matter where Bolt finishes, it's going to be a good race for him. Let's see where he started in this race. Position. Let's go on position changes. 5 places made for him. That is, he started in P7, and if he does finish in P7, I'm sure he'll be happy with that. But it doesn't even look like he's going to finish in P7. Hazer is going to have to get past him for finish. That's a 3-second penalty now for Mr. P, and that's definitely the end of his chances of getting into that top 10, as he's now gotten that 3-second penalty. Merc in P6, right behind Black Panther, will be looking to make the move as they head down now to the chicane. Will he cry it down the inside? A little bit of contact there, I believe, by the two. Black Panther, though, going to try, still going to try and keep that place around the outside of the Mercedes there. Hopefully nothing doing as they keep going. Rusted Bolt now is going to be under pressure from Pesci and Deck behind. But to me, where he is right now is the perfect position. Bird, though, is going to extend his championship lead at the end of this one. Picking the correct strategy here and staying out on the hards, deciding not to go on those mediums. And that decision is working to perfection for them here. And as you can see, Visa RBs are going to be scoring most points here today. Then the Kick Salvers, then the Williams, with those top 3 teams fighting for that constructors title. And Red Bull here, after Paco retiring from the session, would absolutely gutted the fact that it's only ARC that will be scoring points here today. Even if Paco finishes back there, the 7 extra points that you get is good enough. Every point matters when it comes to constructors, as Pesci now has finally made the place on one Visa RB. 12 seconds the other Visa RB is ahead on the road. But does Pesci have that pace to reel him in? I do not think so. Bird is just too quick for Pesci to reel in 12 seconds in 5 laps. That's going to have to be 2 laps, 2.5 laps, 2.5 seconds a lap for him to actually reel him in. I don't see that happening. So let's confirm that Bird will win this race here today. But does Deck have enough to catch up to Rusted Bolt? Will be trying to keep up with Pesci here and using his DRS to stay as far away from Bird as possible. But definitely he's going to lose that DRS to Pesci when they get through this section that needs grip, that needs that traction that his tires are definitely going to be struggling to have at this point of the race. Heading down now to Coffee, right behind Colin, 3/10. Have to be gaining on him. Mr. P is going to have to try and pull away from the drivers behind because of that 3-second penalty that he has for Destroyer Drag going absolutely wide. They're struggling on those hard tires. He's going to be under pressure from Steel Lane behind. Mr. P can't catch up to ARC in front of another driver. Tier 2 driver, very strong Tier 2 driver, is looking to be a top front runner here, and a driver that will be definitely going for a championship run this season. UFRL Merc now, right behind Black Panther. We'll see. Oh, as there's somebody was ghosting, it looks like they might just have been, I don't know, lapping someone, maybe lapping JC. Yeah, lapping JC for sure. Still 10 seconds that Bird has the lead on Pesci. Rusted Bolt now has fallen out of that DRS. I'll be under pressure from the 2 Kick Salvers behind. Kick Salvers, what a performance from them here today. Can the Mercedes stop their party here and finish right in P5? Or can Hazer gain even more points for Williams in their fight for this constructors? Viva in a very good place to have another top finish in the top 10. 2 races in a row now for the Aston Martin driver. And he definitely will be happy with that outcome. As Coffee now going to be gaining and gaining and gaining on Basil in front. So P now probably surely will be regretting coming into the pits for the medium tires. Will have maybe thinking now maybe I should have stayed out on those hards, because I see him. I believe he was ahead of Rusted Bolt. Oh, I don't think so though, but he might have been somewhere around here, you know, just having to fight Deck if he did stay out on the hards. And even if Deck and the rest of them do get in front of him, to be a better place finish than where he is going to end up right now. But that is what strategy is about. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. That might have been the case for Mr. P though. 9 seconds now. Pesci, does he still look like he will have the pace to catch up to Bird in front, who is absolutely just decided that all he has to do now is cruise. When he does finish this lap, he's just going to have 3 laps of racing to keep his car in the lead of this race. Destroyer Jack now has finally lost that place to Steel Lane, down to P14. He goes to the Alpine team. I'm going to grab as much points as they can here. I'm going to grab as a reserve driver. His second race in a row, I believe he's beating his teammate. Doing a good job for his team here. As you can see, definitely just going to be a front runner in Tier 2. But Deck now finally getting to the back of that Visa RB. As you can see, the hard tires are still strong enough for Deck to still not be in the DRS or the Visa RB in front. That just goes to show you how smart to be to just go into the end. Honestly, in any track, in any race, just going long on those hard tires is the way. It is always the way. It just works. It just absolutely works. The Aston Martins, though, have to work together here. I think maybe on the last lap, if they both can get Basil and get that 8th and 9th finish, that would be a very strong finish for them. As they're going to keep putting pressure on that Ferrari who's all alone out there. As Fernandez really, see, he was EMT, yes. Fernandez really, I see now in P20, I knew it was EMT. I'm so confused, man. I'm so confused. I can see in P20, Fernandez really. Because he kept joining and coming out, so I was guessing it was him. He's the only one who was allowed to be doing that. Because obviously, when you're racing, you're allowed to come in and out. If you're not racing, you're not allowed to join the session, unless obviously you're race control, which is meticulously picked. Coming to the ending of this one, Pesci has gained a lot on Bird in front, but it doesn't look like it's going to be quite enough with 2 laps to go when Bird finishes this one. Behind, though, Rusted Bolt finally under pressure from Deck, who's going to use that DRS to get closer to him, but definitely not make the move just yet, as Merck now putting pressure on his teammate of Black Panther behind. Hazer also in this fight. When it's up to Hazer, though, might get a penalty at the end of this one. I believe he's been a bunch of incidents. We'll see as Viva now has made the place on Colin. Coffee will be also trying it down the inside. Not close enough this time around, as the Ferrari will be in that Aston Martin sandwich. Mr. P now will have to keep pushing on the 3 seconds that he has to stay away from Steel Lane. We'll definitely be looking at that and be trying to get that P12. Any extra points matter. I mean, especially for the McLaren, who are probably at the bottom of the constructor. The extra points definitely matter here. That's 2/10 now behind Colin. Coffee is going to be putting pressure while his teammates in front will be backing up Colin there. That's how their strategy can work out here. It's coming to this is the penultimate lap of the race. Deck Bird will be starting his victory lap because, as you can see, Pesci just too far behind to catch up to this man who's had a very, very good race here. I can't even give him my driver of the day because of the way he's driven here today. Very, very good one. Pesci. You see, Pesci 6 seconds behind. He's going to have to settle for that P2. Bird will extend his championship lead. Deck has finally made the place on Rusted Bolt, who is going to absolutely settle with that P4. He knows that the drivers behind are definitely not catching him. They're just too far behind to catch up to Rusted Bolt at this point of the race, because they're about to start the final lap of this one. Bird, on his victory lap, has definitely got the dub. Pesci, P2, and Deck. The podium for the last 3 races stays the podium once again. Deck is going to have to take a 3rd P3 in a row. I'll absolutely be disappointed with that, but he will not be disappointed finishing on the podium for his team. Merck now will be under pressure. This is the fight to watch, as they will be looking to get that P5 very close to the kick Sauber here. And now, has he recharged enough? Does he have enough on his tires to make the move on the kick Sauber when they do get to the DRS zone? Very interesting ending to this race. Lane, though, has caught up to Mr. P, 2.3 seconds. Also, Destroyer Drag very close to Mr. P there, so it looks like he might be losing places to even 2 drivers behind him. Destroyer Drag using that DRS on Lane to stay close by. It looks like he's going to be losing places to 2 drivers and dropping down to P14 in this one. As we have Viva and Coffee now putting pressure on Basil. On the final lap of this race, they'll be looking to complete that move on him. But here we go now on the final lap of this one. Can Merck complete the move on the kick Sauber, who he has been behind for a very long time now? Hazer will have the best view of this coming to the final lap of this race. I'm going to have to watch what's going on to the end, because I have to watch Bird crossing the line, as Merck is going to make that place on Black Panther and take the P5. But when Bird crosses the line, he is going to be your winner here. We'll see if there's more fights at the back. Black Panther is still going to try it. Hazer is going to make the place on Black Panther. Up to P6 he goes, as Merck will take that P5. Deck is going to settle for BT. Busted Bolt. What a drive from him. Will take P4. Merck will take P5. Hazer in P6. Black Panther takes P7. Colin does a good job to keep those Aston Martins behind. But I know they will be happy with the top 10s that they've got in here today. AL Simiki P7 for Red Bull. A great job here in P11. He's going to take P12. Mr. P, but Destroyer Jack and Steel Lane behind him are going to finish ahead of him. They do not have that penalty. 12 for Destroyer, 13 for Steel Lane. Wizard Rex is going to take P15. Woody trying to take the place from him right at the end. Settle as Bam also got ahead of him at the end there, and that will be that in a very thrilling race here at China. Who will be your driver of the day for this one? It is going to be Black Panther. A good race from him. I believe he started out of the top 10 and finished in P6, or was it P7 or something like that, because Hazer did go right at the end. But I think Hazer will get penalties depending on if these drivers send in their clips. But there you go, the Bird, another win for him as he continues his title charge. That's Pesci looking at him with a little bit of envy, and knowing that next time around, as his Visa team celebrates, the champagne is not tasting the best of the Williams camp. It's going to taste the best in the Visa I'll be here at China, because Bird wins the Chinese Grand Prix. What a race that was. What a race that was. You complain about the race at the start. Pesci's going to take that fastest lap and the extra point that he definitely would take with open arms. And that is that. Let's get the race direction just in case it's needed. I don't know what happened at the start there. A lot happened at the start. Crazy start to the race. But there's your finish. Oh, let me get the finishing order. Oh, let's get the finishing order. Let's go down to P20. There you go. Second away. Anyways, it's been a really good one. Thank you guys for tuning in. I has been Winnie Fernandez, as always, in Tier 1. Viva will be on comms tomorrow in Tier 2. Hopefully a good race at Texas. We have been UFRL. Good night and goodbye.